We are back. We are back. Cowboys Nation, what it do? What is going on, everybody? I got my man, Captain Rob, in the building. What's up, man?
Let's go. Let's go.
What's
Big show
going on,
today,
man?
baby. Let's
Hey, look,
go.
my man got his game face on right now. We love
Yeah.
to come in here and talk Cowboys content. This is what we do. Shout out to everybody on the TikTok side, the YouTube side. What it do, man? It's been a long day of work, but look, it's Cowboys for life. This is what we do. How you doing, Rob? What is going on with you, brother?
Hey, man. Hey, glad to be back. Yo, no more Wi-Fi issues this week. Yo, we executing this week. We executing strong this week. You know what I'm saying? I got the fresh cut. Looking
Yeah.
good. Feeling good.
You're looking good, man. The cut looking good.
Hey,
You're looking
hey,
smooth, man.
hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And it's
what's up,
kind of
man.
signifying what the Cowboys might be doing this week with all the future cuts, maybe, but a little segue coming up for that one. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that a
Yeah.
little later. Right?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff that to talk about. Like usually, the thing is with the Cowboys, with us, it's always something new to talk about all the
Right.
time. Even if it's the draft, the quarterback position, Mike McCarthy, it doesn't matter. We always got some juicy things to talk about. So the first thing that I want to get into is my man Dak Prescott. I am so tired. I am so tired of people hating
Right.
on our quarterback. Okay. It is so hard to find a good quarterback in this league. Dak Prescott has what it takes. He has all the intangibles. He's a leader on and off the field. The stats show, but the thing is with Dak Prescott, he's going to have to step up when it really matters most. That's the thing. But we have to understand that there are a lot of quarterbacks out here, right? A lot of quarterbacks that are going to be getting paid 40, 50, and maybe even 60 million. Okay. You got guys like Josh Allen. You got guys like Joe Burrow. Those guys are going to get paid the bag. And Dak Prescott is getting paid 40 million, but this year I think it's about 49 million or something like that. But my main thing is they're talking about the extension with Dak Prescott. If you're going to extend this player, you're committed to him. So with Jerry Jones, he's not getting any younger. Jerry Jones. You got guys like Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, DeMarcus Lawrence. These guys are not getting any younger. The time is now. At the end of the day, you have to bring the guys in regardless. It doesn't matter if you can get a few, I don't know, 10, 15 more $1 million. You got to get this team better. But the thing is with Dak, he has what it takes. He's a leader on and off the field. And I believe eventually we're going to get to where we want to go.
Yeah.
So let me know what you think about Dak Prescott, man, because there has been so many haters. So many haters, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
So look, man, Dak's my quarterback, right? And whether he plays bad or he's good, he's gonna be with us. So let's just get the facts out of the way. Under the cap, under a cap constraints with him, he's gonna be the quarterback of the Cowboys for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Get over it, right? Whether you like him or not, there's no trading him, right? With the extension coming up, so I saw all the hoopla right now is about the extension, right? It's about Bart Scott laughing at him on ESPN and Shady McCoy going in on Dak all the time. You know what I'm saying? People just constantly running Dak down, and they only do that because he has a star on the helmet, right? The extension has to come because we have to free up some cap space, right? We need to put pieces around Dak. But Robert, if he's such a good quarterback, why need so many pieces around him? Come on, man. Joe Burrow has the big 3 wide receivers, right? Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs and the other outside dude. I forgot his name. The other outside dude. Jalen Hurts, he has the most complete team I've ever seen around him, right? Patrick Mahomes is an outlier, but he still has one of the best pass catchers and best offensive game coordinators in history, right? Justin Herbert has Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, right? Kirk Cousins has Justin Jefferson, Thielen, the tight end until they traded him last year, and Dalvin Cook. All these quarterbacks have weapons, but then when I say Dak needs weapons, why can't he be the force multiplier? Why can't he do this? Why can't he do? 'Cause he needs help. We got worse on the talent side as a team last year, but yet we went further. Why that happened?
See, the thing is, bro, you want to go ahead and start Noah Brown, and he's a fourth wide receiver on a team, but you have him as the second wide receiver, and you decide to go pick up a guy like T.Y. Hilton. Even though I like T.Y., T.Y. is a very, very good wide receiver. You know what I mean? He can get open, but that stuff takes time. It definitely takes time. He had his 3rd and 30. We all know he had his 3rd and 30 play, but you need more. That's the bottom line when it comes
to dime. That was a dime by Dak.
It was a dime by Dak. And the thing is, like with Dak Prescott, and if you compare him and Peyton Manning, a lot of people, they love Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, for the first 9 years, he was mopping out all types of interceptions. He threw for over 100 interceptions. Okay. You had Dak Prescott. He's at about like 60, 65 interceptions. All right, whatever. 2-4 in the playoffs, both of them the same record in the playoffs. But everybody was giving Peyton Manning his flowers. They was doing it for so long. Dak Prescott has won a lot. 12-5 seasons, 12 back-to-back. Then he comes back from breaking his thumb and really took off. But the thing is, it's the interceptions. It was the things that, the little things that he has to shape up and get back to what he does best. Because 13-3 season, his first year, I have a lot of respect for Dak Prescott, man.
Right. And like, he wins. He wins. He's 61-36 as being in the league. That's 97 games. He's won 61 of them, right? With not an elite defense until last year, right? With Jason Garrett as his head coach, with the Kellen Moore nonsense, right? With whatever you want to call brass, whether you're a Jerry Lover or hater, he hasn't had always the best teams around him, right? I know, he had the if you put 2021s, that's like his best offense, right? But that was 6 years going into, finally a new coach, finally the 3 wide receivers are all healthy, finally everybody's healthy going into the playoffs, right? And we keep it real here on JC Cowboy Network, right? We always keep it real. Dak has to be held accountable, right? We need him to play better in against San Francisco in the playoffs, right? Those 2 interceptions were wildly wild. Dak, I ain't going to apologize for that, but at the same time, but Robert, what about the other 15 interceptions that he threw this year? He went 9-3.
Yeah,
like
went 9-3.
Anybody else that goes 9-3, you're not talking about his interceptions. You're actually going to talk about him being the quarterback of a top 5 offense, right? He scored more. His offense scored more touchdowns in his 12 games since coming back than Tom Brady did the entire year.
Hey, the thing that's so crazy, a lot of those interceptions that he was throwing, a lot of those wide receivers, when they tried to catch the ball just waffled in the air and the defender takes it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was about like 6 or 7 interceptions where that happened. The thing is with Dak Prescott, like I said, he has to get back to the little things. If he can get back to 2016 Dak, where a lot of quarterbacks, man, when you're picking your shots like that, you can beat a lot of teams. Tom Brady has done that for a very, very long time. He will dink and dunk you and slice and dice you when it really matters most. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like, with Dak, just getting back to the little things, we believe in him. If they end up giving him an extension, we have to get better in so many other areas. It is extremely important, because when you bargain shop and when you're only giving guys 1-year deals, that means that guys upstairs, they're going to be very, very busy. You know what I mean? You're going to be signing a lot of guys. Donovan Wilson. I mean, we can go down a laundry list of guys, but you cannot bargain shop. Exactly. When you cannot bargain shop, you have to go get big time impact players and mix those young dogs with those top-notch veterans and go out there and do work, man. Shout out to y'all, though. Let me go to these comments real quick. What's up, Action Jackson? What's going on with you, man? Thank you for coming in for the live stream. I appreciate you, man, for the first time. What's going on? Bruiser, he said, where did my comments go? Okay, hold on. Let me see. He said, hey, no excuses for Dak. He's a very good quarterback. F what the media says. 2016 Dak had pass catchers. 2022 Dak had and experiment after a broken thumb. We overachieve. See, the thing is with Dak, man, you have to bring in the guys. That's the thing. He was balling out in 2016, but he was playing to not lose his position to Tony Romo. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Rob.
No, let's go back to what Bruce said for a second. 2022, this past season, the Dallas Cowboys overachieved. We were not supposed to be the sixth best team that lost in the divisional round, right? I still think we're better than the Giants. I still think we're better than the Jaguars, right? We're part of the final 8 teams. We were supposed to get worse as an organization. The brass planned on that. They cut our talent, right? They cut Amari Cooper. They cut Lyle Collins. They cut Randy Gregory, right? Well, they didn't cut Randy Gregory. That got shady, whatever, right? But we were supposed to get worse as a franchise. But our defense stepped up. And then Dak Prescott came back from his injury, and he played balls out. So his interceptions, if you really go back and look at it, I think it's a product of really him having supreme confidence finally in the defense that he knows he's like, yo, I could take these risks, I could take these chances that they're gonna get me the ball back, right? I can now be so. Colin Cowherd always says it, right? He's like, I want my quarterback to take chances and move the ball downfield and take shots. But of course, when Dak Prescott does it, he got a problem, right? Just like everybody got a problem. It's starism, man. It's starism, or it's starist, or whatever you want to call it, right? It's that prejudice against the star, right? That just gets these people like Dak Prescott's a good quarterback, man. Like he took a lot of chances last year, right? But he lost 3 games since coming back from the injury, Jay. 3 games, and 2 of them he was up 14 points and 17 points, right? Like that Jacksonville game, those interceptions were they were bad.
Yeah, they were bad. They were bad. He has to get back to
real here. We keep it real.
Yeah, we gotta keep it real. One thing about me and my man Rob, shout out to you, Captain Rob. We are not delusional fans. We keep it real. But the thing is, he's gonna have to clean up the interceptions and all the little things. He does not have that type of skill set where he's a Patrick Mahomes. But he does not need to be a Patrick Mahomes. If he just gets back to getting to doing the little things, you build an offensive line for him. Dalton Schultz, I'm not sure what we're going to do with him, but we'll get into that. But as far as the offensive line, the wide receivers, you have to build it around them, and then on top of having a good defense as well.
We're gonna get into building the roster around Dak Prescott, which every winning quarterback has a winning roster. Stop giving me all this stuff that, why does Dak need help? He's your $40 million quarterback. First of all, that $40 million contract's a bargain, Cowboy Nation, and everybody else listening out there. That $40 million, he's ranked like number 8, I believe, in terms of salary right now, right? And then you got Joe Burrow coming up, Justin Herbert coming up, Josh Allen coming up, Lamar Jackson coming up. He's going to be like out the top 12 when it comes to Daniel Jones is about to get paid $40 million. $40
million.
Too much for Dak Prescott? That don't make no sense.
They're going to pay the bag, bro. They got $50 million. 50.
Jalen Hurts about to get paid 50-something.
Yes, big time. Shout out to you, Bruiser. Hey, my man said not just with Dak, bro. Every quarterback needs weapons. Yeah, every quarterback needs weapons. Tom Brady, the GOAT. Let me cut you off, Jay. Tom Brady, the GOAT, had to go down to Tampa Bay to get his weapons. And even when he got to Tampa Bay, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were already there, right? He had to go bring in AB, Gronk, bring in Lenny, right? Get all his pieces around him. And even the GOAT needed weapons. And Dak Prescott only had CD. You're going to give Dak Prescott Noah Brown, and you're going to blame it on Dak Prescott? Yeah. See, a lot of people on the TikTok side, they saying, Dak, we need a new quarterback. It's just not that sweet. It is not that sweet. When you're paying over $40 million for a quarterback, I mean, his contract is really not that bad, guys. It's really not. Just like my man Rob said, I mean, you're going to be paying big money to these guys coming up soon. Lamar Jacksons, the Joe Burrows that you named, all these guys. So we just got to build around him. That's the thing. But we have a split. We have a split between a lot of people. They're for Dak Prescott. They're against it. But I just want to see if this guy can step up. You got Mike McCarthy being he's running the offense now. You got Schottenheimer. I guess he's going to orchestrate it and go throughout the year. I don't know. He's not calling the plays, but he's one of the guys that came from Seattle, and they run the ball a lot. So if they're going to get back to what they do best, they have to run the ball. It is extremely, extremely important, and it's very, very big for Dak Prescott going forward, especially when they're trying to set up for the play action.
Right. So I'm gonna keep it real as we wrap up Dak here. When we reconnected a couple years ago, JC, I was torn on Dak. I was like, yo, like, what's the point of keep on treading water with this quarterback that can't get us over the hump? But as I continue to see Dak progress and get better, right? I thought this year was actually an excellent year for Dak Prescott, right? They took away his weapons, right, and he still got us to 9-3, like a 9-3 his record. After the injury, right? For everybody on the TikTok side, it's not so easy just getting a new quarterback. First of all, we're contractually obligated. Obligated means doing something that you don't really want to do, but or do something that you have to do, right? You're obligated to him, right? That money is the money, right? And it's hard to go get somebody in college. Do you want to end up with like a Josh Rosen as your quarterback? Do you want to go end up with like a Baker Mayfield? Come on, man. If Baker Mayfield's on my team, man, I'd probably stop watching football, man. For real.
Yep, and that can take about 3 to 4 years to be able to groom him and get him right. So if you're going to take away Dak Prescott, like a lot of these people are saying on TikTok, a lot of people are just saying in general, it's going to take about 3 or 4 years. But extending Dak and bringing in talent to be with Dak, building the trenches, bringing in a corner or something like that is extremely important. Shout out to my man Action Jackson. He said, for the people saying that they want to get rid of Dak, who would that be? And we can't even have that discussion until 24 to 25. Exactly. You cannot, bro. Shout out to you. Exactly.
Shout out Action Jackson. Yo, move on. Dak Prescott's your quarterback. You better get with it. You better get with it. You better toe the line. You know what I'm saying? You can have your own feelings about it, but Dak Prescott gives you a chance to win every single Sunday, right? He threw 2 bad interceptions against San Francisco, and we still had the ball 4 minutes to go, ready to win the game. But he needs to come through in that game. We're not going to apologize for Dak. Dak has to be held accountable. He has to get better, but we also have to get better around him. The Joneses have to get better around him. Bruiser said, I wonder if the Joneses want to win, bro. Hey, we're about to get into that. This past year, I said it last year, I knew this past year was going to be almost kind of like the Cowboys don't do rebuild, right? We have to stay competitive because the Joneses and their money, right? They have to keep us watching games, right? So they're never going to do a complete rebuild, but they can reset, right? And our reset was a 12-5 going to the divisional record. This overachieving ball club, right?
Yeah, no rebuild. If you're going to rebuild, you're going to have to be thinking like 4 or 5 years down the road. If you're going to reset, I mean, they went 12-5. They were a couple plays away. They were a Amari Cooper nuanced route runner. Not saying just Amari Cooper in general. I'm just saying somebody that can actually get open away from really making that game close. So it wasn't. I mean, it's a lot of work to do, but at the same time, and when you're bargain shopping, you got a lot of work to do upstairs. But we'll get into that, man. We're gonna move on. You know what I'm saying? That was
Washington.
a nice debate. Yeah, that was a little crazy. But as far as Zeke, okay, we got Zeke.
Yeah,
we got franchising Tony Pollard. I mean, we can go any direction with it. Dalton Schultz, but right now we can start off with Zeke Elliott. Man, I tell you right now, I love me some Zeke, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's my dog. That's just what it is. But we got to understand that running backs have a short shelf life. And I am not big. I've said it before that I am not big on picking up wide receiver, picking up running backs in the first round. I feel as though that you can be able to find talent within the second round through the 7th round or free agency. That's just how I feel about it. We've talked about it in our last stream that you can find in our last live stream that you can find talent everywhere when it comes down to the running back position. So with me, it hurts as much as it pains me to say it. I just think that it might be time to move on from my boy Zeke. But, you know, it just shows that you're not going to win and get to where you want to go picking up running backs early. It makes you look good in the regular season.
Yep.
It does, but at the same time, building the trenches, bringing in wide receivers, cornerbacks, that's the kind of stuff that I'm big on. So what you think about Zeke, man?
Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. He gets one tier from me. He gets one tier because I believe we wasted his career a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe that 2016 team was really an offense built for Romo. That was kind of our best shot at it. But moving forward, Zeke gets no pity from me. He took $90 million out my damn cap, JC, and then what he do with it?
90 mil, cuz 90 mil. And I think he's due this year 16 million. That's the bag, bro.
You know, he's counting $16.7 million against my cap. Yo, so look, as we get into Indianapolis this week, the combine.
Shout out to Has Life too. What's going on? He said too much cowboy talk for me, man. Hey, you better be lucky. I love you, man. What's going on, man?
Hey,
Shout out to my man Has Life.
What's
going on,
I appreciate you.
Has Life Fishing, man. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the live stream, man. We coming over here, just breaking this stuff down, man. Getting into the nitty grit. You know what I mean? You know what it is, bro. Yep. Go ahead, Rob.
So as we get here into Indianapolis and the players' meetings and whatnot, I mean, I think that decision's already kind of been made. I think Zeke has ran his last down for the Cowboys. We can't really. He has too much pride to restructure and take veterans minimum. Is what about the only thing I would give him? Or if he waits till the dust settles and like after the draft and everything, we'll give him what's left in the cap to be our backup running back, because he can still give me a little something. Like
yeah, but I mean, dude, I'm not paying that much for him, man. You know what I mean? Because like you can get better in so many different areas. Right. You can go get yourself a one technique. You can go get yourself a corner with that kind of money. Just like we broke down guys like Charbonnet. It's been a lot of guys that we broke down, but you can get better in so many different areas. And it pains. It definitely pains me, bro. It pains me to say it, but at the same time, we just gotta focus. And same goes for Tony Pollard as well. Hey, look, listen. So we can do it. We can do it, bro. We go get through it. Hey, he's not safe either.
Not safe in my book.
You know what I'm saying? But I do love his talent. He is a very, very good running back. He's one of those guys that will slice and dice you. But we got to remember, picking guys up in the 4th round, that's exactly what we did with him. Picked him up in the 4th round. You can find guys. I mean, a lot of guys have been talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? Jahmyr Gibbs is a very, very good talent. I like him. I do like the player. He's a very, very good player. But at the same time, these running backs have a short shelf life. Yeah. Okay? After one contract, they are not the same. They are not the same. And we got to get this thing right, man. We got to get it right, man, with Tony Pollard or however we go about it this season.
Yeah. So Action Jackson asks, would y'all consider getting rid of both backs, build the interior of the O-line, and draft a linebacker day 3, sign a running back? Action.
Go ahead.
I'm telling you, this exact question kept me like it literally kept me up. It kept me up last night. I can't get no sleep. Like,
you ain't get no sleep.
I didn't sleep well last night, man. Like all of a sudden, like man, I went to bed at like 10:30. I woke up randomly at 1:30 talking about, damn, what am I gonna do with Tony? Because I was all but done with Tony. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I feel bad for him. He broke his leg and everything. But you're $10.9 million and you're already a running back that's only touched the ball 20 times in one game since high school.
And he said I meant running. He said I meant running back. My bad, y'all. That's what he said. I meant running back.
No, I got you. Yeah, no, I got you. So my thing is, I was all but done with Zeke and Tony because I wanted all the cap space I could get. But now with like my number one target off the board, Daron Payne, which we'll get into, it's like, I want as much talent as I can get on this team. So I don't know where I'm at with Tony right now. I could go back and forth. I can go either way. He's going to cost $10.9 million, right? They're probably going to franchise tag, right? So I can get on board with that, but I need to see what else you do with the squad, right? I need to see.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Go
That's the
ahead.
thing.
Yeah,
That's why free
that's
agency is
most
going to
important.
be extremely important.
Right. I
That's
need to
why.
see.
Go
I
ahead,
need to
bro.
see what
Go
you're
ahead.
doing. I need to see what you're doing with the squad. Right now, it is very possible to go draft O-line in the draft and build your running game that way, and then get another running back to complement Malik Davis. Malik Davis is an explosive dude, right?
I actually like Malik Davis.
I like him a lot. He could run the football. You know what I'm saying? He could tote the rock. You know what I'm saying? He's an explosive dude. We get another rookie running back, and hey, we got Tony Pollard in the fourth. No one thought he's gonna be nothing. Throw up the Will McClay for me. Throw up the Will. Right?
Will McClay.
When you have, I need the Will. When you have someone like this on in your franchise getting paychecks, I trust him to go get me another running back. Right? I don't trust. I trust him more. I trust him getting me a running back more than I trust Tony Pollard with $10.9 million of my dollars. Right? That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Tony. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. What's good, Jay? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Shout out to everybody though. What's going on? Let me go to these comments. Yeah. Hey Mariah, what's going on? My man Has Life said you can't cut Zeke and Tony. Y'all going to the bottom of the division if y'all do that. Chill, bro. You gotta chill. You gotta chill with that. Because the thing is, man, you can find talent all throughout the draft at the running back position. Yeah. If we go back down memory lane, shall we? Just for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Look, you got Austin Eckler. All right. Austin Eckler was a player that was undrafted. Derrick Henry was a player that went in the second round. Miles Sanders, both of the running backs in the Super Bowl. You had Pacheco, he was a 7th round pick, and you had Miles Sanders, who was a 7th round pick. All right, I can keep going. Tony Pollard was a 4th round pick. You can find your boy Brian Robinson. Where did he get drafted at? At the end of the day, you can find. A Commodore fan? Yeah, he's a Commodore fan. Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. That's my dog, though. But you can find talent all throughout the draft at the running back position. There are premier positions that we have to focus on to get right to be able to take that next step, guys. So, yeah. So, as far as Schultz, all right. So that's another guy in itself. All right. So with Schultz, let me get to him real quick. Hold on. All right, Dalton Schultz, man. Deuces. I did a little breakdown on him. He is a very, very good player. The 2021, he had over 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. This past year, I think he missed like 2 or 3 games. He had 552 yards receiving this season, somewhere like 500 something this season, with like 5 touchdowns. He is a solid player, but we got to understand. All right, he can block well. He can be able to do all that, but you're going to pay the bag. Guys like Njoku, right? He signed a 4-year, $56 million deal. I'm not sure if I really want to pay a guy like Dalton Schultz that kind of money, but I mean, to each his own though, because some people they're for it. They want Dalton Schultz. There are a couple content creators. They actually want Dalton Schultz to stay on the team and stuff like that. That's a lot of money to me. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, because we got so many other different positions where I feel as though we can be able to get better at. And guys like Jake Ferguson, I understand that he has not proven it yet. But you can tell. I mean, if he passes the eye test with me, you know what I'm saying? I've been watching him for a long time since Wisconsin. So I think he'll be a good player. But we just got to see how much it's going to cost to sign a guy like Dalton Schultz. If not, then we just got to move forward. I think that this team is going to look totally different than previous years, bro.
Right. No, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with this team looking totally different too. Like our run game with Brian Schottenheimer is actually gonna come to this century, or finally, it's not even come to the century, but get out of that Kellen Moore always running out of shotgun, right? All that draws and all that crap. We're actually kind of like a real running game now, right? Mm-hmm. So, sorry, going back to Dalton Schultz. To me, he reminds me of like an old stage Jason Witten, right? Jason Witten was still getting busy, right? In the later stages of his career, but Jake Ferguson reminds me of young Jason Witten, right? I can still picture, Jason Witten running down New York sideline with no helmet on, right? That explosiveness, right?
Well, I don't know, man. Jason Witten, I mean, the blocking, when you say Jason Witten, I think about the whole body of everything. I'm not sure about Jason Witten. I'm not sure.
I'm not. He's a goat. He's a goat in my book.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? He's real good. But at the same time, Jake Ferguson, man, has a lot of potential. Travis Kelce called him out saying he's gonna have a big year this year coming up. Every time you saw Jake Ferguson touch the football last year, he was running by somebody, he was trucking somebody, he was hopping over somebody. Remember that one play?
Yeah. So peep this. Look at this. So look, this is what my man Travis Kelce had to say about Jake Ferguson. He said, "I don't know if there's any that remind me of myself, but there are a few guys I'm excited about. Kyle Pitts being one of them, Jake Ferguson down in Dallas, and Daniel Bellinger over in New York. I'm excited to see how these guys manifest over the next few years, and we'll see where they can take their game."
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, man, listen to that, man. Hey, if he's saying it, that means a lot. If he is saying that, that means a lot. You can tell one thing I like about Jake Ferguson is he's a yak demon. If he gets his hands on the ball, he's taking it and he's going to get busy with it. He'll slice you up. But we need to see more from him. Right. I believe in Will McClay. I think that Will McClay can be I mean, this guy drafts so well, man. He gets the guys in there. Oh my gosh, all the time. So I'm a rock with him. I'm a rock with him, and that's just what it is.
He drafted 4 starters last year coming up for this year, and I believe Jake Ferguson is going to be one of them. My man Notes just said,
yeah. Shout out to you, Notes. What's going on? Know it alls. Know it alls.
Schultz runs kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? He's a nice little route runner. He knows how to get open. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to use his lack of athleticism to get open, right? Which is good. But as soon as he catches the ball, he's going straight down. Jake Ferguson, on the other hand, he can learn that, right? That's coaching. That's, adapting to your surroundings, that's learning, right? But once he touches the ball, though, it's explosion time, right? It's Travis Kelce time. You know what I mean? Am I comparing Travis Kelce? Calm down, TikTok. Calm down, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right? The thing is, hearing that from Travis Kelce and what he raving about a player like him, I mean, that can, boost your confidence up, and that is so good for a player like him going forward. And we'll see what happens, but I think that will be good. But we have to figure out what's going on with Dalton Schultz. That is extremely, extremely important. So everybody rename.
Right? Yeah. So let's do a quick recap. Right, we've gone over. So these are all the pieces that we had to find out what's going to go on this week, so that we really know the Cowboys' blueprint on how they're going to attack free agency in the draft. Right. I believe they're going to cut Zeke. I think everybody's kind of on board with that, right? Zeke is gone, right? Let's get a little vote, YouTube and TikTok. How y'all feel about Zeke? Zeke's gone, right? I believe Schultz is gone. Both their contracts.
So you think Schultz is gone?
Oh, I think Schultz is gone. Because they're not going to give him. They're not going to give him that. They're not going to give him a long-term deal with Pendershot and Ferguson behind him. Both more athletic tight ends than him, both younger, both cheaper, right? Especially when we need help in so many other areas. And so I think he's gone. I think him and Zeke right now gone, right? And I think
Zeke's out of here too. Know it alls. I think that's just, it's tough, but that's just what it is. We gotta move on.
The writing's on the wall. Yep, let's keep it going.
Yep. All right. So as far as that, since we did all that. So what about Tyron Smith? Let's get into Tyron Smith. Because you got Terrence Steele at the right tackle position. We have Tyler Smith manning that left tackle position, and not sure what they're going to do at the guard position. But the thing is, if you put in a guy like Connor McGovern, sometimes he can be good, but what can he do in the most important games? Do we go out our way and we go get a guy? Let's see. Do we go get a guy like Osiris Torrance? I'm really big on that type of player because I'm big when it comes down to the trenches, man. I think that if you can get the trenches right, that is extremely important, and that's how you can be able to take that next step against the Philadelphia Eagles, against the 49ers. That's just what I believe, and I'm sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen this team ball out when we have our offensive line right. But as far as Tyron Smith, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't even know what tore. Was it his hamstring, bro? What was it?
Yo,
Was
he
it
tore the whole
connect,
hamstring. He tore the
connect?
whole hamstring off the bone. Like what? What was you doing? That you took the whole hamstring off the bone?
Hey, cuz, and then he comes back and plays this year. You know what I'm saying? He plays this year, but playing at the right tackle position. He probably was ailing, but shout out to my man Tyler Smith because this guy has been one of the most. He was one of the most important pieces, and you got to give a shout out to Will McClay as well. But bringing a guy like him, man, it changed everything. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep Tyron Smith. I mean, we can be able to possibly take that money as well and get better. And I hope Cowboys Nation know that this team is going to look totally different from last year. This team is going to look totally different. So we got to get prepared for
it. So yeah, I feel that the Tyron having what I want. Damn,
it's my dog
Tyron's
right there. What's up,
Tyron's such a yeah, what up, Helen? Tyron's such a staple to the Cowboys organization, right? I mean, he's been holding down that left tackle for what 12 years now. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the best to do it. Top 5 of all time, right? Argue the GOAT, right? But man, he's played 17 games, 17 out of 50 games over the last 3 years. He's counting 17 mil against the cap. If we cut him post June 1, it saves us 13 mil. If we cut him pre June 1, I believe it's about like 9-10 mil, something like that. So what I believe that because the one thing about Terrence Steele too, he's coming. So what if he's not ready to play at the start of training camp, right? What if he's not ready to play? So like, I believe he tore the ACL in the Houston game, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna need somebody, and if Tyron pulls like a D-Law and restructures his contract, I'll take him back. But I can't take him for 17 mil against the cap. I can't do it. You don't play enough.
You don't play enough. Yeah, he has not played a full season, and it's been years, bro. But not only that, we have to figure out what we're going to do with Jason Peters. We have to figure out what we're going because you don't want to put guys like Josh Ball in the game. You're going to get Dak blasted. Like when
why is Josh also on the team?
Bro, when Josh Ball was in the game, I was getting anxiety, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like seriously. Yeah. So they're going to have to figure out what's going on with that tackle position. But I love Tyron Smith, man. There's a lot of guys that we've been connected to for so many years, man. Zeke, you got your Tyron Smiths. A lot of these guys are not getting any younger. But this is what happens, though. You know, when you bargain shop and you get to the divisional round, there's going to be some changes. You know what I'm saying? So we'll break that down and stuff like that. But it's going to be big time, man.
Yeah, because if you guarantee me that Tyron's gonna be healthy the whole year, if you go Tyron at left tackle, Tyler at the guard, Biotish at the center, Zach at the right guard, and Terrence Steele coming back for the right tackle, that's a good offensive line. That's top 5 offensive line, right? I believe we were already a top 10 offensive line last year. Like, I feel like this offensive line kind of got like overlooked just because we were missing pieces, right? We were missing Tyron. So they got kind of put into this category of like, oh, they're not good. But they played pretty well last year. They played pretty well. They can't control that Zeke's slow and can't hit the corner anymore, right? Shout out to Zeke, but you're gone.
Yeah, that's just what it is. So, like, we got a lot of decisions that we're going to make, but it's always good to break this stuff down and chop this up. Shout out to everybody on the TikTok side. What's up, Craig? Shout out to you. He said Stephen Jones already said they're going to keep Tyron Smith. Hey, that's a good thing, man. As long as we can just stay healthy. And, I'm not sure if they're going to put him at the left tackle position, if they're going to put him at the right tackle. Well, they're not putting him at the right tackle because Terrence Steele, he manned that right tackle position, and that was when we were at our best in the run game. So the left tackle position, maybe they might pick Tyler Smith at the left guard, but just play your best 5 guys. But the only thing that concerns me is his injury problems. That's the thing, guys. Shout out to y'all.
So I know Stephen Jones. So I heard that Stephen Jones said he's going to bring him back too, but you can't trust what these Joneses be saying. Number one, number two. you can't bring him back at no $17 million a year. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a detriment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a detriment to the Cowboys. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to show me some real circumventing of the cap to keep Tyron Smith at 17 mil and add the pieces that Dak needs and add the pieces that this defense needs.
Yeah,
Go
big
ahead.
time, big time.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the comments too, man. My man Hoodlum, shout out to you, bro. My man said, "Yo, what up, JC? What's good, bro?" Know it all said. Peters will ask to stay. He will average 38 snaps per game, but I believe Tyron Smith wants to retire a Cowboy. I mean, I hope he does, but I just want to see him stay healthy. That's the thing. We have to spend that money, bro. We have so many holes. Cornerback, we didn't named it. Wide receiver everywhere. So if he getting paid too much, if he's not going to see the field, then he's going to have to take a pay cut too. We're going to have to start asking people, man. That's just what it is. What's going on, Double R? Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for coming through, man. Shout out to my man, Double R, man. What it do, bro? All right, so let's see. My man Know It All said he won't average 38 snaps, so he will take a limited role. Yeah, if he takes a limited role, that's just, I mean, I just hope he can just stay healthy. What's good, Jazz? Jasmine and Jasmine Show, always showing me love. He said, hey, y'all, welcome to the party. What's good? You know, it's always a party, Jazz. All right, so this is what we're going to do now. All right, man, here we go. Here we go. Should the Cowboys make a splash trade this off season? All right. So we got guys, a lot of people have been talking about a lot of these top tier talents. So let me chop this up real quick. Let me see. Let's go. Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey. I'm going to tell you right now. All right. So here's my thing about Jalen Ramsey. When he was traded from the Jaguars, they gave up 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, hey, bro, hey, I'm not giving up that type of capital for a player like him. I understand that he is a good talent. I respect him. I respect Jalen Ramsey, but you got to understand, with him, you have a guy like Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is already the number 1 cornerback on your team. You're not going to be paying another quarterback $18 to $20 million. And sometimes when you get the losing, he gets angry. He runs the Twitter. Nobody got time for that drama. With me personally, everybody got their own opinion. I understand his talent, but me personally, I would want to see us go pick up a guy like Bobby Wagner. That's the kind of guy that I would want us to go get. We're going to spend that bag. You go get a guy in the trenches that can be able to change games. But with him, he does have the talent. He is a dog, but bringing in a guy like him and having Trayvon Diggs at the same time, I feel as though that's kind of like bad business, because you can be able to go get yourself a rookie cornerback or somebody in free agency. They don't have to be as good as a Jalen Ramsey, but if you build that front 7, blow timing off from the quarterback, that means that those cornerbacks don't need to cover too long. So what you think about the whole Jalen Ramsey thing? I'm not trying to throw salt on him, but that's just what it is for our team.
I'm gonna throw some salt. Okay. I don't mind throwing the damn salt. I come with the smoke.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yo, Cowboy Nation, I don't want you to think me and JC always be agreeing on everything. You know what I'm saying? We will have our disagreements on things.
Mm-hmm.
But this ain't the time. Yo, look, hey, you're gonna ask me for how much for Jalen Ramsey? A 1st and a 5th, and then you're gonna ask me to give him $26 million against the cap, or average $20+ million against the cap for the next 3 years, and then he's gonna ask me for more money on top of that. Ask me for another contract. Man, please, I'll walk out right now. Hey, look, if we're gonna keep Tyron Smith, we can't afford Jalen Ramsey. You know, like, these are certain things that we just can't do. I like you know, we're gonna bring it all to you, Cowboy Nation. You know what I'm saying? But Jalen Ramsey, and like, first of all, this is the same.
He wanted to come to Dallas. He wanted to come to Dallas from the very beginning. Do you remember?
From the very beginning. This is the same Jalen Ramsey that we should have drafted instead of Ezekiel Elliott at number 4 overall in 2016. Right? We could have paired him up with Derrick Henry, but that's another story. But this is also the same Jalen Ramsey that shut y'all boys down, Amari Cooper, in that one playoff game, right? For y'all Amari Cooper apologists out there, right? Jalen Ramsey, a baller. He a dog, right? But I can't take all that hooting and hollering, all that cancerous behavior in the
Bro,
locker
he
room.
goes, what he does is he goes to Twitter, and if you start losing, he'll start talking about he don't want to play for the team no more. You don't
Man,
want that.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
you don't
build
want
a championship team,
that.
and you want this baby on my team? Come on, man. He doing too much. He do too much all the time. He's a good player, man. He's a good player. He's a good player. And like, and then you're talking about putting $50 million in your two cornerbacks. That's unreasonable. We don't
Yeah,
need that,
that's just bad business. You know what I mean? So that's
right?
my thing with him. But the talent is there. He the last like 2 seasons, I mean, he's been getting caught on. He's been getting caught on, but like a little bit more than what he's used to. But the thing is, I just would not spend 2 first rounders. I wouldn't even spend a first rounder at all on him. You know what I mean? If anything, I mean, because he's going to want to get paid 18 to 20 million dollars, and that's just money we don't have. I don't care if it's a second rounder for him.
And that's 18-20 million dollars that we still have to talk about talking about all the decisions that we have to make to line us up for free agency. There's an LVE decision that needs to be made. There's a Donovan Wilson decision that needs to be made. There are other players that have priority on this team over bringing an outside guy named Jalen Ramsey, who is that guy? Pro Football Focus still has him in the top 5, right? Which is good. He's good. He's good. He's not $25 million in the first round. Good to me.
It's good to me. That's what I'm saying. My man Hullum. Shout out to you, Hullum. He said B Wags is a better fit. Yes, I am so big on linebacker. Like I played linebacker my whole life, and those guys set the tone. You got a middle linebacker that's having over 140 tackles, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. He's 32 years old, but he was the best rated linebacker. PFF graded him a 90 overall. You know what I'm saying? And that was higher than Fred Warner, and he scored an 85. And Fred Warner is a baller. And when you bring in a guy like that, man, that can be able to get after the quarterback, all you got to do is bring in the big time one technique, guys. Big time one technique, allow this man to roam. Those offensive linemen won't be able to get to the second level, and B Wags is going to do work. Straight up. That's the bottom line.
And also, last thing on Jalen Ramsey, instead of giving him a first and $25 million, there's a player out there who has all the hardware in the world as well, except for the championship, who is a complete free agent, so you won't have to trade for him, right? Who can still ball. Pro Football Focus had him in the top 10, right? They said he had one of his actual best years last year, right? So it's proving he can still run, and that's Patrick Peterson, right? And at his age of 33, which is old, I get it, right? But corners can play a long time if they can still run, right? Champ Bailey played forever. Darrell Green played forever, right? Patrick Peterson can ball, right? And he's the type of leader, that type of fiery leader, right, that I love in my cornerback room, right?
That's what you need.
Trayvon Diggs could learn a lot from him, right?
And Trayvon Diggs, and Trayvon Diggs actually looked up to him too, right, bro?
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so big. And he's a much more reasonable 2-year, $20 million guy, right? At the max, say if you even give him 3 years, 30 million, and have like a 30-year team option, something like that, right? So he can just retire as a Cowboy, right? Hopefully retire with the championship. He could be a great cornerback number 2, adds depth to the room. But I'm not giving up a first and $25 million a year for
no way. Let me get to the comments real quick. Shout out to y'all, man. My man Double R, what's good, bro? He said no trade, keep what we have, and a need pick up Wagner and free agency for wide receiver / cornerback and draft for offensive line is my opinion. Is what Cowboys Nation needs to get to the Super Bowl ring. That's hey, look, pretty much with me, man. I want Wagner bad. That's one of the guys I want. I knew. Shout out to you too, Hoodlum, because Hoodlum did say he was like, Jay, it ain't no way that we're going to get Deron Payne. So it's good to talk about. I remember you said that, Hoodlum. So I had to mention that. You know what I mean? Because it was a pipe dream, but at the same time, we got to clean things up when it comes down to that one technique position. But bringing in a guy like Wagner, Double R, that starts it right there. That is very, very important. These guys got to be aggressive. That's just what it is. And like you said, the wide receiver and the cornerback position are positions that we're going to have to address. If it's in free agency, in the draft, or whatever, we'll see. But the offensive line is extremely important too. So there's holes everywhere. All right, so let me get to my man. Hold on. Let's see. Sugar Daddy, what's going on, Sugar Daddy? Shout out to you, man. What's good with you, man? What's going on, baby? Man, my man back at it again. What's good? Shout out to you, Hullum. He said, I'll give Rams a second, not a first, but it will be smart if they trade him to Detroit, get their first round pick back. You said, I'll give Rams a second. What you giving the Rams a second for? I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, so I think what he's saying, if he's the Cowboys, he would give up a second. Yeah, I might give up a second. You know,
hold on, but giving it to the Rams for what?
He's saying the Cowboys he would get, if he's the Cowboys, he'd give them a second. And Detroit should trade for Ramsey so the Rams could get their first round.
So they can get their pick back. Okay,
they ain't got no picks. They got no picks back forever. Right.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to y'all though.
So yeah. I think Jalen Ramsey will get traded. And Detroit does need defensive help. That's a good offensive team, and I think he could be a good stay for Detroit. So you know, Jalen Ramsey is going to get traded, right?
That's happening.
Just keep him away from Dallas, please. Micah Parsons said, he said, "Ain't no one going from LA to Detroit." He was ragging on Detroit. I was like, "Yo, Mike, I agree, but don't he better not come to Dallas either."
Exactly.
You know, unless
for
a second.
So we broke that down. All right, we broke that down. So we already know where we stand with Jalen Ramsey. You can't be bringing in two premier cornerbacks. That's bad for business. We got to figure out where we can go at in different directions. So this is what makes me lead to here. All right, so we'll go. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Let me get this real quick. All right. Bam. All right. So what you think, Rob? You go ahead and cover that one first, since I got Jalen Ramsey first, and then I'll double back on you, bro. That's your dog.
Look at him, dog. He looks ready. He looks popping, ready to go. He's looking back at Dak. He's like, "Yo, man, check that ball down to me, man. Let me go to work." Right. That's what he's saying right now. Look at him. Right. DeAndre Hopkins is what this team needs to go on a run. Right. He immediately puts everybody back in their proper position. This is kind of like when we got Amari Cooper the first time, right? Amari Cooper came in and he put everybody back at the position that they need to play, right? He put Michael Gallup back on the Z side, right? He put Allen Hurns back at the number 4. Remember Allen Hurns?
Allen Hurns? Hey, look, man. Allen Hurns, he reminds me of Noah Brown.
And like, that's the type of shit that we need to get rid of. Like, we're bringing in people like James Washington and Allen Hurns, right? And Noah Brown and expecting to win championships. No, this is the player. I'm not giving up a first for him, right?
You say you might get a first. You say you might give up a first.
I'm not going to give up a first.
Yeah, I got you.
He might require a second or a third, right? From the reports that I'm hearing now. So like I called last week. I said I give up a second and a fourth and a third round next year for him. I don't think it's gonna be that much.
So let me ask you this. So how much did they give up? Did they give up when he was traded to how much did the Cardinals give up? A second and what?
I don't remember exactly.
Let me check and see, man. Let me
see. That's the question. Exactly. But that was years ago, though. You know what I'm saying? And like they're in a different predicament now.
But you got to understand though. You got to understand though, Rob. The art of negotiating. That's why I want to know exactly how much that deal was.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Let's see.
It's a good point. So.
Go ahead, continue. I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah. No, the thing with D-Hop though, like he's gonna open up CD just to go wherever he wants on the field. Right. We like moving CD around, right? But then if you move CD around, and you have that mainstay on your left side, I think he primarily plays the left side of the ball, right? That's just gonna put the defense in such a bind, right? It's gonna give Dak Prescott. It's just gonna open up the world for Dak Prescott, right? And then you can start ragging on Dak if he starts messing up, right? But until you get him a player like this, right, man? And like there's other receivers out there too that we could trade for, but D-Hop's the guy. He's gonna be $19 million against the cap if we trade for him, right? We can create the cap room for him, right? and let's go get him. Let's go make a splash trade. Let's go get
Yeah.
him. This is
See,
the
the
same
thing is,
management. This is the
hey,
same
look,
management that is traded for. Sorry, this is the same management that is traded for Joey Galloway, Roy Williams, Amari Cooper. We bring in
mhm.
guys, so let's go get the guy. This could be
Yeah,
the best
go get
receiver
the
we've ever
guy.
brought in.
But here's the thing with me, like, okay, so you give up a second. All right, in 2020, they gave up a second round pick, and then they gave up a 2021 fourth round pick. Now, you're saying that you want to give a second and a third. That means you're beating yourself. You're not going to want to go into the negotiating table and say, I'm about to give up a second and a third when somebody else gave up a 2 and a 4. So, if
Sure.
anything, you're going to have to, because you got to understand, I hear you, but he's still a premier talent. He still has the skill set. He's still going out there and doing his thing, but he has tread on his tires. He has tread on his tires. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Less tread on his tires. So the thing is, you're going in there. I would not say that I'm going to be giving you no 2, 3. If anything, I will give them another 2 and a 4 for this type of player. You know what I'm saying? But I would want him. You know what I mean? I would want him. This guy catches with his hands. He catches everything, and he gains separation. That's exactly what Dak Prescott needs. If you can get a guy like that to line up with CeeDee Lamb, that is less double coverage for these guys. You have to have 2 safeties deep. You're going to have to respect what you got going with the run. And go out there and do work, bro. So a 2 and a 4, that sounds good to me. I'm not sure about no 2 and a 3. When you traded a 2 and a 4, you're beating yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, armed with that new information, you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna offer him a 2 and 3. I'm offering like a 2. I offer him like a 3 and a 5 now. Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's because
Right.
the trade on it, you got less trade, right?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. No. So basically what you're saying, JC, we can get D-Hop for practically nothing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then he got what, 2 years on his deal? Like, this is the type of player that we need, man.
We can manage that cap. Next year, guys, we have like over $100 million in cap space. Yeah, a lot of that's going to go to CeeDee Lamb and Trevon and Micah Parsons coming up, but we have big cap space next year, right?
Big cap space.
Yo,
Let me get to these comments. Hey, bro, read a couple comments, bro. Yeah, read a couple of them.
Bruiser said, he said he said something about Michael Thomas. He said he ain't played since people doing the milk crate challenge. That had me roll a little bit. Oh man.
Man, Michael Thomas. Oh Lord. That's your look, I think that's your boy, right? You like Michael Thomas.
And
hey, yeah. That's your boy in fantasy, man. That's your dog. That's your dog, man.
I lost
that's your dog,
championship on some Michael Thomas, man. A couple of them too. I was like, oh man, Michael Thomas is the fifth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. If Michael Thomas can stay healthy, talk about a guy that doesn't have tread on the tires, right? You know, if I can get him for cheap, right? That's a guy that, you know, can be better than Noah Brown. You know what I'm saying? It could be better than I can't really trust Michael Gallup, right? You know, so Michael Thomas, if I have to settle for something less than DeAndre Hopkins, we can keep on going down the list and down the list and down the list. Michael Thomas could be the guy, like a cheap guy that the Jerry Joneses could like, but I'm not really. And like he do be running that hard slant. You know what I'm saying?
He run that hard slant. He run that hard slant. Let me get to this. Let me get to this real quick, bro. Hold on 1 second. Shout out to my TikTok side, my man. Bad News. What's going on, man? Shout out to you, brother, man. Miss you, bro. I ain't talked to you in a while. What's going on? Somebody said, my boy, you my favorite content creator. I always ask where you get your hats. Hey, man. Hey, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I get them from the pro shop. My other hat, my shark tooth hat, I got it like 3 years ago. It's hard to find. But yeah, man, if I find out, man, I got you, man. That's always showing love. What's going on? Shout out to everybody on the TikTok side. Just got to hold it down for everybody, man. You know how that go, bro. You already know. All right, let's go. My man Matthew Games, what's going on, man? He said D-Hop will be a perfect pick because Dallas needs someone that's a good route runner and someone that can actually jump and go get the ball. Hey,
exactly.
Straight up, man. That's exactly what me and my man Rob is preaching. You got to be able to be a nuanced route runner, but we're going to get a little bit more into it. But that was a nice little segment because guys like Jalen Ramsey and guys like D-Hop, a lot of people in Cowboys Nation, they've been talking about Are we gonna pick these guys up? Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do that? So we got a lot of decisions that we got to make, guys. But shout out to y'all.
Before we move on, real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I see Bruiser and Hoodlum going at it.
Oh, what happened?
Look, all those guys that you guys are naming right now, the Mike Thomas of the world, the Mike Evans of the world, the Keenan Allens of the world, those could all be on the list behind DeAndre Hopkins. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't get DeAndre Hopkins, then yes, those guys, we can go after that. OBJ is in my Jalen Ramsey book. I can't, nah.
Yeah, OBC. The thing is, shout out to you, Action Jackson. He said that Mike Evans would be great as well, especially since Tampa is rebuilding. The thing is with Mike Evans, it's a lot of 50-50 balls when it come down to Mike Evans. I just don't think that Mike Evans is a very, very good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong, that was my boy. I won a championship with him in fantasy. You know what I'm saying? I did what I had to do. But at the same time, what kind of quarterback do you need for Dak Prescott? We need what kind of wide receiver do you need for Dak Prescott? Guys that can be able to sink their hips when they're getting out of their breaks, that spatial awareness, that's what you need from your guys. The basic things when it comes down to the wide receiver position. So the slot position, possibly the outside. I just want guys to be able to run good routes for them. Shout out to y'all. Let me get to these real quick before we move on, bro. So my man said, yeah, you said they was going at it.
Yeah, yo, yeah, DJ Chark Hoodlum, he could be a cheap option, but again, he's
injuries.
He's behind. Everybody's behind DeAndre Hopkins. He's the guy that we need. He gives us like that rep. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the Cowboys ain't playing around no more. Like that's bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, that literally boosts up the entire organization. It'll boost up in all of Cowboy Nation, right? We'll all rise up, you know what I'm saying? And you can't say nothing to me now, right? I got D-Hop and CD. Woo!
Yeah,
Woo!
that's my words. See, the thing is, Hoodlum, that what about I'm not really that big on DJ Chark like that. I mean, he's a good wide receiver, but I mean, he's been injured so many years. Like he has not played a consistent 17, 16 game type season. So with this team, exactly what we were talking about earlier in this stream, like this team is against time. Okay. Like we have to get guys in here that can stay healthy. We know that he can be a big play wide receiver, but there's a lot of times where he gets injured, man. And we need guys that can stay healthy for us. You know what I'm saying? It's very important.
Yo, Bruiser, big facts, man.
What'd he say?
When we bought it, he said Dak throws dudes open now. I remember when he couldn't. You need experienced wide receivers who knows where to be. Even CD messed up this year with the timing routes. Need more experience. Yo, so let me tell you something. When we bought in Amari Cooper, he was huge in Dak's development as a quarterback, right? That's why he demanded the money that he got. The numbers when he was with Dak in those first couple of years were outstanding, right? But the reason why we let him go is because Dak had that development now, and now Dak is doing what he needs to do as a top-tier quarterback in this league, right? So that's why we didn't need Amari Cooper anymore, to all you Amari Cooper fans out there. Just a quick dig at Amari Cooper. Y'all remember the Philadelphia game 2019 when he disappeared, when he was on the sideline in the rain with the jacket on?
Yeah, they always saying that.
You remember the New England game when he disappeared? You remember when Jalen Ramsey shut him down, made him just disappear, right? Like, would I love to have a second-year wide receiver in that San Francisco game last year? Obviously, but Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper turns in DeAndre Hopkins, y'all can be like, Amari who, baby?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you know.
All right. Let's get to so because we had to cover that, man. We had so much stuff to talk about, but let's get to this draft. All right, let's just get to this draft. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got to cover it. It's so crazy because once we start having these little spicy conversations, I mean, time be going by so fast. My man, Bad News, I see you, man. What's going on? Shout out to you, bro.
Hey, pull up Bruiser's last comment real quick.
Bruiser, which one? The last one?
The last one. Amari is a quitter. He's a quitter. Good riddance. Give him a man quit too. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I need dogs on this team. I need dogs on this team. I need players that want it every day, right? I need winners on this team, not quitters.
that get open. That gets open. Shout out to you, my man. Double R, what's going on? Double R shotgun, what's good, baby? My man said third wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton could fit perfectly and cheap. Lots of picks for second wide receiver. I do like T.Y. Hilton. I would like to see him with a full body of work with Dak Prescott, but we'll see. Just got to see what the money is talking about. Are we going to try to go get somebody in free agency, or are we going to try to draft someone? But I feel as though that he can be a good piece with us, but he has to have a full body of work, especially training camp and mini camp. So,
this is a good segue
for
you. This is a good segue for you, JC. I know you want to get in your breakdowns. Just because we go get a receiver doesn't mean we stop, right? DeAndre be it'd be like DeAndre, and then you got CD in the slaughter moving around, whatever he has to do. And then hopefully Michael Gallup comes back and is able to run again, second year removed from ACL. But now it's time to start looking at the next young guy, right? Who's going to bring that speed? Who's going to bring that route run? Who's going to bring something different to the offense that can keep on opening itself from the college ranks, right? We have just because free agency, I want you to understand, is so important to really go after free agency and do it well, so we can then attack the draft with like an open mind, right? We're not just going after a need, right? We're going after best player available. That's how the good squads do it, right?
Yep.
They go after the best players available, right? So good segue. We're about to go in JC's breakdown. This is what JC Cowboy Network about. JC's one of the best in the business of doing it, right?
Hey, look, man, you know that's what we do, man. That's my specialty right there, man. We do the best breakdowns on YouTube, pound for pound. Top notch edits, all that. And I'm gonna talk it, man. You know, Cowboys Nation, we get hype, man. And my man, shout out to my man Hoodlum. Jordan Addison is on his way. That is on his way. I'm working on that. But let's get to this draft, man. Just wanted to break this guy down real quick. Noah Sewell. Let me take this off real quick. Man, 6'2", 253 pounds. He was a 3-year starter for the Ducks. He played Mike linebacker, but lined up all over the field. Edge as well. He is very, very instinctive, fully capable of disrupting plays, and who is a tackling machine. Tough athlete who has a great stab move at the point of attack. He has a knack for roaming sideline to sideline and reading and diagnosing slow developing plays. All right, so that is big time when you're doing that kind of stuff. Seeing stuff before it happens, that is very, very important. All right, there were a lot of times that I saw on tape that he gets skinny and slips right through guards and blows up plays within the A and B gaps. Very patient when blitzing, knows how to time it well and make the big play. I can see this player being schemed on Sundays to get after the quarterback. He has 6+ sacks capability if schemed right. And as far as his negatives, I want to see him in coverage in the open field more. He doesn't have the best change in direction in this draft, but getting down to technique should really help this player. And the last thing is another player with NFL DNA and that we have to consider. And you know, I am really big on D and A. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you think about this guy. Bro. I had to break this guy down. I feel as though that he can really be a big time piece with us, but we have to figure out what we're going to do with LVE, because with me, I know he's 6'2". You know, they want guys that's like 6'4", 6'5" at the linebacker position. We all know. But sometimes when you know that you have a dog right in front of you, and the better coaches, Dan Quinn, if you're one of the top-notch coaches, you make it work. And he's the type of player that he could possibly get drafted in the second round. We'll see how it all plays out with that. But at the same time, if you see dogs, you have to go get them. What you think about it, Rob?
Well, yeah, a couple questions. So you said you're projecting him in the second round pick, right? Give Cowboy Nation some information here. His bloodline, his brother, first round draft pick by the Lions, right? That left tackle that they drafted, Sewell. I'm forgetting what's his first name?
Panay.
What is it?
Panay.
Panay Sewell. Yes. That's his bloodline, and Panay Sewell is a monster in Detroit, right? That's exactly. Hey, Hoodlum just said Drew Sanders. Little shout out for my guy Drew Sanders. But
yeah, hey, look, we talked about Drew Sanders. We talked about him, but we breaking it all down.
So I like his vegetables. So I don't mind his height. I like his weight, 250. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's a thumper to me, right? That's someone
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who's gonna knock you back, right? He's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
get tackled 7 yards down the field like LVE, but instead attacking the line of scrimmage. You said he gets skinny in his breakdowns, right?
Yep.
Um,
You're very
and
skinny.
you said, right? Remember in our pre-show meeting, we had to pick players who are going to be good against the Eagles and the 49ers, right?
Yep.
And they're a very complicated run scheme type team. So
Mm-hmm.
you said he's good in his uh,
Developing before he
slow developing
blitzes.
play. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
So
yep,
like he
all of
reads,
that.
right. So like
Mm-hmm.
his awareness is high, right? I like all that.
Mm-hmm.
I like all that,
Mm-hmm.
right? On the
Mm-hmm.
second round pick, I wouldn't be mad, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and like
He might possibly go at the end of first. Who knows where these guys
who
are going
knows,
to
right?
put him on their big boards? But at the same time, when you
Right,
have a linebacker that can be able to get after the quarterback, and I mean, having 5, 6, 7 sacks in a season, and I mean, really just harassing these quarterbacks. I mean, on tape, you can see it. I mean, these
right,
quarterbacks are running their tails off trying to get
right,
away from this guy, and having a player that can be everywhere. You're putting him on the edge. You're putting him at
right.
Mike linebacker. You're putting him at the wheel. So he's that chess piece that you need a little bit, something like how Micah Parsons is.
So I like how I like his versatility. You could pair him up with a LVE. You could pair him up with a Bobby Wags, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could pair him up with both, right? Which is what I think we need. I think we need to bring LVE back. I think we need to bring Bobby back, and I think we need to go draft a linebacker, right?
Yeah,
Because our linebacker room is just thin. It's
yeah,
thin.
it's thin.
It's thin.
Mm-hmm.
It's thin, and the guys in it are thin, right? Like they ain't
Mm-hmm.
got no girth. Like you know what I'm saying? Like two. I'm gonna give Damone Clark his chance next year. I promise you I will.
I
But
like him. I like him a lot.
Like a Jabril Cox, he's like 6'1", 230. That's small to me, man. That's
Yeah,
small. You
it
can't play
is.
big boy linebacker in the NFL. That's a little too small. But 6'2",
Hey, look crazy. He's stupid, bro. He says, hey, and Sewell wear a neck roll. That's a red flag. He's stupid as hell. Hey, man. Hey, cuz he might be stiff, huh, cuz? Nah, but all jokes aside, he's a good player, but got a lot to prove and stuff like that. So I did want to break him down, bro.
Yo, and also to go back to the potential free agents out there, Bruce just brought it up. Tremaine Edmonds, he's a free agent, and that's a big linebacker who can run, right?
He can run.
I love
Big
Tremaine
boy.
Edmonds, and he probably
Hey, Bruiser been in his bag today. Shout out to you, Bruiser.
Bruiser is feeling some sort of way today. Yeah, I feel you, Bruiser. That's
That's
what's
my
up, man.
dog
And
right
good
there.
content, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
He
that's
coming
my
with the
man.
fire
I
for
think
sure.
this is the first time Bruiser came in here. Yeah, I think he might have just subscribed. I can't remember, but it's been so much going on. But shout out to y'all, man. My man Hoodlum, Bruiser, Double R. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all y'all. Much love to y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. Without y'all, man, this does not work, man. I appreciate all you guys so much. And like I said, we come with so many different flavors. The best thing about Dallas Cowboys content creators, all of us are different in so many different ways, and that's what it's all about. That's how you make yourself stand out. You want to be different. You want to be creative. And my wife, shout out to her, man, for teaching me this whole YouTube thing, the edits and stuff like that, man. And we ready to take this to the top, man. Shout out to y'all. Yeah. All right. What you had to say, Rob? My bad, bro.
Just to finish on Noah, I like him. I like his versatility again. You know what I'm saying? I like what he could do. I like his blitzing, right? He said he had 6 sacks, right? I need guys that could do it all, right? His coverage, that's coaching technique, right? Everything can be coaching technique. He's only going to get bigger, stronger, faster too once he gets to NFL ranks, right? So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he could do, right? He has that good pedigree in him too. So let's go.
He said Sewell and LVE will work them necks. Don't have a chance. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey. You know LVE with his neck. His situation. That's the thing, man. I think we talked about him. I know I talked about him on my single show about LVE, but yeah, that's a whole different, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to run through this real quick. It's so crazy how time go by. But we've been covering some good stuff. All right, so let me go. We gotta go here. We have to go here today. All right. Let me see. Let me get okay, Jackson Smith Njigba. Jackson Smith Njigba. All right. So this player right here, right? I like him a lot. I really like him a lot. Let me take this comment off. 6 foot, 198 pounds, 5-star recruit. He was a 5-star recruit coming out. In 2021, he set the Big Ten receiving record with 1,606 yards and 9 touchdowns. He had a 15 catch, 347 yards, and 3 touchdown game in the Rose Bowl, bro. In 2021, fireworks. Like, bro, like you having that type of game, bro, that's almost like a cheat code, literally. All right. So he had a lingering issue, hamstring issue in 2022, and he played in only 4 games. He's a pure slot wide receiver, but he believes he will be a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. He has a knack for getting open, top-notch footwork. He makes his money gaining separation, running routes across the field. Like I've seen that plenty of times with their quarterback Stroud, CJ Stroud. All they was doing was running like those basic waggle plays, and this guy has the ability to get open. All right. What else did I have on him? He has great body control from what I saw on tape. He's a great hands catcher, one of the better route runners in this league. He's not that explosive. If you see on tape with this player, a lot of times when he was springing loose, he was getting caught up to. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be good to see what he runs in a 40. That's going to be very important for his draft stock. So we'll see. But with him, he only had one season, a full season of production in college. That's the only thing about this player, but I think that he can be something, bro, because we have to find guys that can be able to get open. We got to keep stressing that for Dak Prescott. Is very important. So you can take the floor. It's a lot. It's a lot. I know, bro, but we got it.
No. I'm trying to take it all in. I'm trying to take it all in on how I feel about this small wide receiver who is not that explosive.
Yeah, not. But the thing is,
what's your projection for him? What's your projection round?
I think he'll be like a late 1, early 2. I think he'll be a late 1 because the thing is, like, he was injured last year and he took off. I mean, he took off the year before. He had the hamstring injury, but like I said, like he can get open. But they had the guy Marvin Harrison over there doing work, but he's a wide receiver that can be big time for Dak Prescott. But just depends. I mean, late 1, early 2, I think, for him.
So I was gonna say that Marvin Harrison's the guy in that squad. Like
he's a beast. He's a beast.
Like beast. Like 6'4", like beast. Right? He's coming out next year, probably, right?
Yeah, but you got to understand that Marvin Harrison, the other guy, what was his name? Garrett Smith, that played for the Jets. Then you had Olave. All those wide receivers from Ohio State, you can't sleep on them, bro. You have to.
That's true. That's true.
All of them.
So, yeah. So I'm not gonna sleep on linebackers from Penn State. I'm not gonna sleep on wide receivers from Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me though, like, somebody asked a question. Am I taking where am I taking offensive lineman at in the first round? Or excuse me, where am I taking offensive lineman in the draft? I'm taking with Osiris Torrance in the first round. Like, are you taking Osiris or are you taking a Jackson? Right? You know what I'm saying? I already know where your head's at. I just don't like. I got to see what his 40 time is. Right? I know he's a good player, 5-star recruit. Came up good in the big games. Right? Came up big in the big games. So the size thing for me, and then like the pure slot thing for me, takes him out of the first round draft for me, right? Especially since I believe CD can dominate in the slot, right? But we'll say I need to see more of his measurables.
Yeah, definitely got to see more of his measurables that I ain't gonna lie. I like Jackson Smith. He's a Cowboys fan. Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. Shout out to you, Hoodlum. Yeah, that's the thing. But with me, I'm not saying, you know me, I do college breakdowns, I do NFL breakdowns, Cowboys breakdowns, number 1. That's what I do. I have to break all this stuff down. Not saying that I'm mentioning this player because if I see Osiris on the board, that's the kind of player that I will go get because I know what he will for our team. But trade back situations, you never know. Dallas, they like to move a lot. Things happen. So we have to talk about these guys. We have to break them down. But I know that he was injured all last year, but what he did the year before was fireworks. And those guys from Ohio State, they're big time. and you don't want to miss out on those wide receivers. So we got to talk about it.
And just heads of Cowboys Nation, yo man, after this after free agency period goes down, and when JC really starts getting into the draft, and we start doing some mock drafts, we start bringing some people in, start doing some mock drafts, and like really just kind of give you guys a show here. JC about to go work. You about to go work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you know how we do, man. That's what we do, man. That's what it's all about, and keeping everybody entertained, being content creators. It's a lot of work. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's a ton of work, especially the work that I actually do, like the videos that I make, all the edits. It takes way more longer than the other guys. Like it's a long time, but I'm so dedicated to bringing in good content, even though like it might be not as many videos as the other guys, but I know I'm gonna have quality work and do all my homework on these guys. So that's what it's all about.
So yeah, I mean, so Hoodlum said only thing he's slow, and we need a speedy wide receiver. That's what I agree with, right? Like I like a Jalen Hyatt, that we broke down. But again, so we're trying to give you as much information on all the college prospects out there. This is for your information, so you guys can know. I know he's a good wide receiver, but I agree with Hoodlum. A little too slow for me, a little too small for me, right? I'd probably go another direction in the draft as a Cowboy fan that Jerry Jones should hire for his management.
Right. Yeah, man. So shoot, I think we covered Eric. I think we pretty much covered. Yeah, Josh Downs is a good one. I might do a full breakdown on Josh Downs. Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna get into that. But I think we covered everything for today, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we already talked about the Cowboys. We did a couple drafted players, and next week we'll just keep diving in. You know what I'm saying? We got free agency coming up, the meetings. Oh yeah, did you have anything on the meetings that's coming up?
Yeah, man. So these meetings are really, man, like about like the trades that we talked about. It's a chance for these GMs to get together and hash out some deals, right? Some possible deals that can go down, right? A lot of the player agents are going to be there, right? Working out deals, working out extensions, working out franchise tags, right? This week's big coming up, man. This is basically the unofficial start of the new league year. You're going to see a lot more breaking news on franchise tags, right? And like if some crazy stuff goes down this week, once we make this decision on Tony Pollard, we might go might have like a little late week show. You know what I'm saying? Break all that down. So it's gonna be exciting times are coming up. It's exciting times. This is where if we win a championship coming up next year, right? This is gonna be the start of it, right? All these decisions that we broke down today, the Tony Pollards, the Tyron Smiths, right? Even the little guys like the Donovan Wilson, the LVEs, and not bringing back Anthony Brown and letting go of Jordan Lewis and like creating this cap space, right? This week is all about the road to creating cap space, right? So we can go get a D-Hop, so we can go get a Bobby Wags, so we can go get a Patrick Peterson. I know Deron Payne's gone, right? I know that was a great talking point for everybody. That was fun for everybody, but we kind of knew that he was going to get franchise tag. Like the Commodores would have been, they would have been dumb not to let that boy go, right? So
yeah,
all that's so he's gone. But there's other defensive tackles out there. There's plenty. We're gonna go over all next week. The free agent list is long, is talented, is deep, right? You can get people for cheap. Jason Hargrave is still out there. Davin Tomlinson is still out there for the defensive tackle. But Cowboy Nation, dog, we need to go to work, right? We have the ability with this defense to get into that special name category, like the 2000 Raven type category, like the 2002 Bucks category. Like we have that type of talent on this team, but we need to add to it a little bit. We need to add to it, right? Yeah. What they did last year was a big step. Like we have one of the best defensive coordinators in the world, right? We have one of the best defensive players in the world. Like that's how you build one of these dominant defenses that can continue to go shut down a Philadelphia and a San Francisco. So this is what we need. You know what I'm saying? This is the week, man. Get excited.
We got a lot of work to do. Yeah. The thing is with us, man, it's so much work that we have to do. It's crazy because, like, just like I said earlier, like once you giving all those 1 year deals, 1 year deals, 1 year deals, it makes it busy for everybody upstairs. So I mean, that means we got to sign so many guys. You got your Donovan Wilsons, you got your LVEs, Malik Hooker. I think he's already signed with us, but Trayvon Diggs, I'm not sure if he's going to want to play on that $4.5 million deal. Tyron Smith, figure out what we're going to do there. Running back position. We got so many things to figure out, but this team ain't that close. Just like my man Rob said, we're not that far away, and we just got work to do. You know what I mean? To take that next step, and it starts off with free agent, man. And it's going to be good, man.
One little tidbit that Jerry Jones said this week, that he said every position group is up for discussion except the safeties. And I kind of agree with him. Like our three safeties are pretty dope. Right,
but you got to sign Donovan Wilson though. You got to bring him back.
We got to bring him back. We got to bring him back.
Yeah. Sure. All right, y'all. Well, this was a good one. This was another good one, man. We had to chop it up, man. You know what I'm saying? Another one. I think this is like our third show, fourth show, something like that. But hey, man, we here, man. Blessings to you, man. Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate you, Hoodlum, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's love, man. Back at y'all with another one. That's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna keep this thing going. We'll talk to y'all soon. All right, y'all. Gone.